In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can easily do keyframe animation inside iClone, so stay tuned. Hey friend, my name is Ian and welcome to my Start Animating YouTube channel, the channel that is specifically aimed at everyone that is new to animation. And if that is you, welcome, you are at the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also click on that little notification bell so that you can get notified every week when I upload a brand new video. Before we get going, talking about iClone, I am going to host my 5-day iClone training. Okay, so if you are interested in learning iClone, make sure you click on the description box below and go and sign up. So and see when the next one will be. So maybe depending on when you're watching this video, I will host this regularly, so you can go and sign up for the next one and see when the next one is. So who is this training for? Well, it is for those who are complete beginners who've never animated before. So it is really for those who are new to animation and are quite scared and feel like learning animation is quite a daunting task. So it is for you. It is for any animator who wants to maybe learn iClone. Maybe you're a 2D animator and you want to go into 3D animation, or you just want to learn iClone. And the third one is, like I've mentioned, if you want to learn 3D animation. So I always say iClone is the best software to start off as a 3D animator because it's so easy to learn. And once you know iClone, you can always go over to Blender and Maya, and you've got that foundation. When it comes to 3D animation, you've got that foundation, and it will be a lot easier for you to transition to other software. So if you are completely new to animation and you want to become an animator, this training is for you. If you just want to learn iClone, this training is for you. And then finally, if you want to become a 3D animator and start your journey as a 3D animator, this training is for you. So again, in the description, go and see when the next training is. Go and sign up. It is definitely the best place for you to start as a 3D animator. So I hope to see you inside the next training. So today we are going to do some keyframe animation inside iClone. So why am I doing this video? Because iClone, one of the benefits of iClone and all the Reallusion products, even with 2D animation, cartoon animator, is motions. Okay, so motions is like pre-animated motions, saved motions that you can drag on top of your character to do certain things. Okay, but sometimes as animators, especially when you use cartoon animator or iClone, you can start to depend too much on your motions, and then your animations don't look realistic. So for me, I personally like to do keyframe animation. It's just, for me, I personally feel I get better results. Okay, so today I'm just going to show you how to do it so that you can go and apply it, because keyframe animation is, for me, at the end of the day, that is animation, not using motions. So if you want to be an animator, you need to learn keyframe animation. And then secondly, it is just you have more control over your animation. But it takes practice. It is something that you do need to practice a lot to get good at it. So I'm just going to show you how to do it, but it's going to take practice for you to get good at it, because keyframe animation also depends on timing. Okay, timing is the number one key component in keyframe animation, and I'm going to show you how to do timing as well. But timing also depends on your software, keyframes per second. So iClone uses 30 frames per second. So that is something you will always need to keep in mind when you animate. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a basic animation for the sake of time. And so the first thing I do is, okay, I select my character. And this is a character from the movie that I'm working on. So if you are interested to see how I make my own 3D animated film. I'll put a link in the description box below as well, so you can go and sign up there. And there are already a lot of videos and content you can dive into to see how I make my full feature animation film. So this is one of the characters, and so let's break this character down first. So the first thing I do is I go into you can see I've got my animation layers selected, and then I'm going to create, I've done a video on this few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago. So what I do is I create layers for different body parts. Okay, so I'm going to say torso. Then I'm going to say head. I'm not going to do the legs for the specific animation I'm going to do today, but you will also do create layers for legs as well. Left arm, right arm. Okay, so basically I am ready to animate. So what I am going to do is I am going to animate the character to look left, right, front, and then show she doesn't know something. Okay, so now one key principle I always teach my students when it comes to keyframe animation is one thing you always need to keep in mind is there's for every movement there's a beginning and an end movement. That you always need to keep that in mind to solve a lot of issues later on. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the torso. And then I can just go to animation, edit, motion, layer. And then I am only going to animate the torso. So let's say at keyframe 30, I'm going to have my start frame. Okay, so we can go to motion. We need to go to torso, motion layers, and there we have torso. Okay. So we can go to torso and double click. Okay, so now the next one we are going to go to say 40, and we are going to do only her hip. Okay, so she's gonna look there. Okay, and then what I do is I just add a transition curve, slow or ease in, ease out, because one of the principles of animation is actually slow in, slow out. So just for better movement. Okay, so now I go to that first keyframe again. Now I'm going to go to the head. Okay, and I am going to create my first keyframe. And then with torso, the final frame, I go back to my head. And so I do that. Okay, so, and then again, slow in, slow out. Okay, so we go, let's just go to the beginning. Now you see the timing is completely wrong. It is way too fast. So this is where timing comes in. Now you can just simply drag those keyframes. And now you can, that's much better. So now you can adjust the timing. So you've got your beginning and your end keyframes for your movement. And now you can just adjust the timing. Okay. So, but we want her arms to move as well. So let's just adjust her torso so that she is forward. And then we can adjust her head. We click on the head and we adjust that so that she looks up. Okay, so now if we press play, that looks a little bit better. So now what I'm going to do is let's go to, she's going to pause there for a little bit. So let's say 15 keyframes. Now we are going to create, go to torso, create a beginning keyframe, go to head, and we go create a beginning keyframe. So torso, head. Okay, so now I wanted to look the other way. So this is a much further distance. So let's go to right about there. We go to torso and we better look that way. And then we adjust her head. Like so. And then again, transition curve is in, and then transition curve. Okay. So now we press play. She looks that side, and then again, beginning and end. So let's go to torso. She's maybe at torso there. And we also create with her head. There's one there. So we've got that. And then we're going to take it to the front. Again, 15 frames, maybe. No, that's 20. So let's 20. And now, again, torso to the front. And now we go to her head, or let's just quickly adjust transition curve. And now we go to the head and we fix her head. And we do the transition curve. And so we can quickly press play. She looks that side, up. And then what we can do is, let's say here by 185, we create starting keyframe, go to head, starting keyframe. And then we can go maybe there. And so now we want her to pose her in a different pose. So we maybe that backwards. Her head should go. Oh, sorry. Her head forward. But now let's just quickly do the transition curves. But now we want her arms to go up as well. So now we go to left arm. Where's this? Left arm, and we create a curve there. And we go to the final frame. And now we can go and adjust the left arm. Like so, and her hand. But let's move like so. And we can, and now we go back and we just add transition curve. Slow in, and then we go and we do the right arm. So we click on right arm, create a first frame, we go to the final frame, back to right arm, and now we can animate and get this arm in place. So we lift like so, and then we can transition curve. And now what we can do is we can fix the timing. So select. And so how I do it, the first step is you block out your key poses. What I did here. With the different layers for each body part, it just gives me more control. The second thing then that I do is I can now fix my timing. Okay, so my key poses I can drag forward or backward. The end pose, remember beginning and end. The end one I can now drag forward or backwards to fix my timing. And then I add transition curves for smoother slow in, slow out movements. And then finally, what I will do then is I will add different layers so that I can now animate my 12 principles of animation to add arcs and drag, slow in, slow out, anticipation, all those kind of things I can now add into my animations. And so this is how you kind of do keyframe animation. It is not that difficult, but it will take a few things. It will take practice so that your mind is in that mode of you get your key poses and you fix your timing. And then you add your 12 principles of animation on top of that. And then obviously it's going to take patience. Like for now, there's a lot of mistakes and issues in this animation. It doesn't look smooth, but this is where you kind of take time to fine tune your movements. This, for sake of timing, I just ran through this to give you guys an idea of how to do keyframe animation. But now is the time where I will sit and fine tune everything to make sure that head movement is a lot smoother and not so jittery, etc. So guys, I really hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you now have a better understanding of how keyframe animation work. If I can just summarize, the most important things for you to understand when it comes to keyframe animation is blocking. Okay, so you block out your key poses, and the better you can block out those key poses, the better your animation will look. Okay, so once that is done, make sure also to do your different layers. It's a lot easier to fine tune and solve issues and problems later on. So make sure you do your layers. And then the second thing, timing. Okay, so once you've got your key poses blocked out, it is then very easy to fix your timing because you just drag those keyframes forward or backwards. It's very easy. So that is the second thing you do, is your timing. And then once that is done, you apply your 12 principles of animation on top of that to make sure there's some arcs, there's some drag with a drag and follow through, there's squash and stretch, all those kind of things. So you kind of add on top of what you already did. So guys, I really hope this video was helpful. And if you want to learn how to use iClone, make sure to go and sign up. I hope to see you guys there in the next training. It is really going to be helpful. It's 5 days of training, and it is live sessions, but if you can't make it live, there will be replays available, so you will still be able to watch it at a later stage. And you don't need iClone to take part. There will be a link provided where you can download iClone, the 30-day trial version of iClone, so you can still work alongside with me even if you don't have purchased iClone yet. So I hope to see you there, and from me, God bless. I will see you next week with another video. So happy animating, and God bless.